most valuable commodity I know of is information. Wouldn't you agree?
I'll do Monday. Hey, hey, what's going on? Appreciate you guys tuning in on this Monday with me and Ronnie. Happy New Year! This is our first recording of this 2024 year. As always, this is your local real estate guy, Garaudy Joseph, and your mortgage dad, Ronnie Fairley Farley.
Yep.
Uh, just want to go ahead and just kind of let you guys know what we plan on talking about today. Just kind of going over a continuation on our last show on the importance of knowing your team, and once you have your team, also knowing the number one thing that you need to start working on, and that's getting pre-approved. So just kind of going over the basics as far as the importance of having the right team when you're on your real estate journey. Number one, starting with your lender. That's very important. I mean, Ronnie knows firsthand being a mortgage, excuse me, loan officer. Um, Second is actually having your realtor,
Yep.
and then also knowing who's going to inspect your home for you. You want to make sure that the home is in the best condition possible to make sure that's the home that you see yourself living in. And then last but not least, having the right insurance person, because we all know home insurance is a real thing here in South Florida, very pricey. But at the same time, if you have the right insurance person, he or she will get you the most affordable insurance policy for you. So, as we just said, having those four members on your team is a crucial thing. But the number one thing before you can even start the journey of you buying a property is what? Getting pre-approved. And this is Mr. Mortgage Dad's expertise. So
Yeah.
I'll let Ronnie go ahead and
Yeah. I mean, as we're talking before the show, kind of thinking 2024, new year, what's going on? And I thought this was just good to bring up the beginning of the year because I'm sure there's a lot of people out there. People make goals, right? 2024, I'm going to do this, or that. And one of them may be I'm going to finally buy a home, or I'm going to upgrade my home, or whatever it may be. And I can't emphasize about getting pre-approved because I've had a couple clients recently in the last, say, 3 months get pre-approved, get ready to pull the trigger, and then they maybe start second guessing that monthly payment. So one of the key things I want to point out, especially now, is the bank can approve you, but are you comfortable with that payment? That's really the big key, is why I tell people to get pre-approved, because even though the bank will lend you X dollars, are you comfortable with what that monthly payment would be? So you got to be comfortable with that monthly payment versus what I can get pre-approved for. So a lot of people will think, oh, I can get pre-approved for X dollars. That's great, but can you really, does that fit into your budget, your monthly budget of whatever it may be? Are you going to be house broke? So, as we were talking before, getting pre-approved, whether you're going to buy in the next month or two, or whether you're going to buy in the middle or the end of the year, I would get pre-approved now. So one, you get to kind of know the ballpark figure of what you're approved for today. And two, you can see what that monthly payment would be with your taxes, with your homeowner's insurance, if there's an HOA involved.
Yes.
So at least you can grasp your head around that monthly housing number, which, especially first-time home buyers, a lot of people you don't know what you don't know. So knowing that number will definitely make you, ready when that time comes of knowing whatever that monthly payment's going to be. And you'll know, I think, deep down inside of, when am I jumping into that market? Rates are at X today, right? And here's what my monthly payment would be. And if rates go down to whatever it may be, maybe that's your cursor. Okay, I'm ready to jump in the market because that fits my monthly payment. So that's just one aspect of obviously getting pre-approved, is just knowing that monthly number, which, like I said, especially the first-time home buyers, you don't know what you don't know. You don't realize maybe what taxes are going to be each year, especially here in South Florida. Your insurance, it's all new. So you kind of get educated and learn what all that involves.
Yeah, one thing I will say about that too, the reason it's so important to get pre-approved, it's one thing going on Zillow, Realtor.com, whatever website there is, and looking at these homes and saying, wow, this looks nice. But when it comes to window shopping, when you go to the mall, you're looking at something more like you can go ahead and still purchase this, even if it's outside of your purchase price, because you can put on a credit card. In the case of real estate, to window shop is kind of just a waste of your time, to where getting pre-approved really puts things in perspective on what's realistic for where you're at financially. And there's nothing wrong with looking at a home that's $1 million if you can afford it. But if you can't afford it, let's look at some homes that you can afford. And the only way you can do that is actually getting pre-approved, because it puts things in perspective, and it allows you just to be more efficient and responsible with your time when it comes to your housing search, like Ronnie was just mentioned before, especially if you're a first-time home buyer, because it can be extremely intimidating if you go from paying $1,000 a month in rent to all of a sudden saying, oh man, I'm gonna have to pay about $2,500 in a mortgage, taxes, and insurance. And knowing this ahead of time and having the right person on your team to kind of guide you along that process, it kind of gives you peace of mind moving forward when it comes to your home purchase process.
And one thing to piggyback off that is, when you say Zillow, obviously a lot of people know Zillow, and whether that's kind of like what their Zestimate or what their monthly payment is, all ballpark, right? So it kind of covers the nation. It doesn't know what South Florida's tax rates are, or homeowners insurance. That's dealing with clients. I know they look on Zillow and they'll be like, oh, homeowner insurance is $100 a month. And, some of these houses, maybe it's more like $500 a month versus the 100 that Zillow shows. So again, just the importance of having the right team and knowing all these numbers are more accurate, right? So you got to be careful when you're searching online and they give you these rough housing payment numbers of what it really is. So, they don't know the tax codes, or, what each city or state may, what your taxes may be. So you got to just, stick to the professionals and get educated on that.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that too, especially all along with the insurance too. So that can really play a big factor in your overall monthly payment. I know me and Ronnie were talking about moving forward, we plan on doing some type of I guess, one-on-one breakdown on basic fundamentals when it comes to purchasing a home, from the lender, from the realtor, from your insurance guy, to the home inspector. And next show, Ronnie, I'm thinking that we kind of give the viewers a breakdown as far as just the pre-approval process, as far as, the debt to income ratio, all that basic stuff, and just give them more of a visual aid and guide on, okay, these are the type of things you guys need to be looking for when purchasing a home. And Ron is the best guy for that.
Yeah, and like I said, a lot of times we'll kind of give you the basics, right? But I can't reiterate, use somebody local.
Yes.
So if you're in Wisconsin, I'm just going to say, I may not be the right guy for you, right? Because I don't know what's going on in Wisconsin. So always, again, try to use the local guy, local team, because they know the ins and outs of everything. So kind of what we give here is that generic, real estate education. And, obviously we're situated down here in South Florida. We know the South Florida market very well. But if you're listening to this and you're somewhere else, use your local team.
Well said. Well said. I guess with that being said, as once again, Happy New Year's to you guys. We're looking forward towards a very exciting, fulfilled 2024 year for in this real estate market, whether it's South Florida or anywhere throughout this nation. And we're going to continue just to provide as much information and facts on what to know when it comes to real estate. And like I always say, I believe in being informed and not influenced. So it's appreciate you guys listening. Appreciate Ronnie as always. And until the next show.
All right. See you guys next week.
Beautiful. Until next week.